Another day, another top. Hey, isn't that the guy who likes season 8? Huh? Well, not the worst thing I'm being laughed at. Hello there, everypony. This is Mark, aka the Wolf Pony, and it's that time again. Time to do a top list of the worst of each season, and this time it's season 8. To give a sum up of how people feel about this season, think of Lauren Thos's departure around season 3, times it by season 4, and you get yourself a bunch of opinions mixed in a bowl where people either find it good or downright bad. I guess the school really was the breaking point, with some saying it's a good addition while others think it didn't add anything. I think I mentioned this before on Twitter a couple times, but I think season 8 is a good season overall and close to matching my favorite season being season 4. Yeah, I know it's easy to meme this, but I truly mean it that I enjoyed this season and the build-up it had making the Equestrian Nations to be a reality.
I called it, fuckers! I fucking called it! Suck my dick!
Anyway, I did enjoy the season's worth of episodes along with the new Student 6. But that doesn't mean there are stinkers, and oh boy, these episodes not only hit the low blow to me, but it does show that the criticism of how people feel towards the school in general. Strap yourself in, folks, as today we're gonna cover the worst of season 8. Oh boy. Fake it till you make it. Wait, you're telling me this isn't that funny? Well, you don't say! Okay, if there's one thing I hate on what this show does, it's giving an episode to the main 6 member that doesn't really fit the premise at all. Fluttershy is one of them, as she is in charge of running the store while Rarity is out. Where is Coco? Like, seriously, this episode didn't even bother mentioning her! Granted, this was during the time where it seems they can't avoid potential lawsuits since the name change and all that, but you're telling me you can't even reference her doing something at this time? Same to Sassy as well. Really, all that could have been fixed with just a small line mention, but without those, it makes the episode feel a lot more forced than it is. Really, when it comes down to it, it's just so forced to the point that I have to ask, why is this even a thing? Even the lesson is not impressive since it's just Rarity wanting a friend to run it because she doesn't trust any other ponies to do it. Yeah, Coco and Sassy would like to have a talk to you now. That and the humor sort of falls flat most of the time. None of the jokes make me laugh at all. Now, why is this so low exactly? I guess maybe it's because it introduced the fact that Fluttershy does kinda get into cosplay and play out a character. Funny how that one reference gag back in Scaremaster actually shows hints towards that. Kudos to Andrea Libman for pulling off all these different voices here. But yeah, this episode is not really good, but hey, it could be worse. Yakety sax! Yeah, you know this was coming. In fact, I made an entire rant video about this a while back. This is just gonna be me repeating myself on how much it sucked so hard, yet it's lower on the list because, well, let's go over the positives here. First off, I like more of the yak culture that we got to witness here, especially the instrument they like to play called the Uvitophone. I thought that is a nice touch for the culture world building there. Not to mention that the episode setup wasn't really bad either, at least from the start of it. You get the impression that the writers got something here, especially when Pinkie Pie is known to be kinda good at everything involving making ponies happy. Also, I like how the friends went the logical route this time, and it's nice that Horse plays less, it sticks by them. Really, those positives are the reason why it's so low as of now. But oh boy, the negatives sure didn't help get it off of this list. Let's start with the fact that the entire episode kinda teaches a really bad moral. Okay, seriously, I know Pinkie's supposed to be the cheery, peppy girl that always shows that positivity and support always wins. Okay, fine. But why the heck did you teach a moral about, oh, it's fine that you suck, just keep going because you love it? Like, why? Seriously, you were doing so good, yet you freaking ruined it at the end with that. It just feels petty and childish, especially to Pinky when she had way better episodes with more life wisdom morals than this. It's because of that moral is where everything falls apart. Really, that moral basically made this episode to be just Pinkie Pie crying and being sad because she didn't got her way this time till her friends bend themselves for her. It doesn't help when she literally tries to move out because of it. I know people gave shit to Pinkie Pie during mod couples for the same thing, but at least there it makes a whole lot of sense given the context of that situation and the moral added to that. Just hearing myself ranting about this again makes me think I should have put it higher, but thinking about it, this episode just hits me personally, and Pinky is my favorite character, and despite what people would say about this does not change my mind on Pinky. I mean, really, it's not like I just used this to go all soapbox to tell everyone that now this is the final piece of evidence of why this character is awful and act like it's all factual about it. But I would never do that, right? The Mean Six. Have you ever had any hype for an episode based on the synopsis only for them to just disappoint you and even then try to see the episode for what it is and it still sucked? Yeah, it's this episode in a nutshell. Okay, let me get the pauses out of the way. First off, it's nice to see Chrysalis again and going through attempting to get back at Glimmer and every pony who took her army away. The idea of cloning the main six is a really great concept of an episode that I'm surprised it wasn't done a lot sooner. Plus, the interactions with the Mean Six and Chrysalis are just pretty funny in general. Really, that is about it, as the negatives outweigh the positives, which is two by the way, that being the main characters of the show. Tell me, what is the point of them being here exactly? No, really, I want to know why they are here because in the end, they never added anything and were not the cause of the downfall of the Mean Six. No, that is solved by the Harmony Tree off their radar. During all this, the Mean Six get lost for the most part and ends up meeting the real Main Six and causing problems. Now this is where the second issue comes in, and that is the main characters now picking up on what is going on. All of this didn't lead up to anywhere other than just apologizing to each other on things that they didn't do. A lot of people who complained about this said they are the worst for having no brains, and I sort of believe that. I'm surprised none of the characters caught on how out of character they have been to each other. The worst thing about it is that this could have had led to a good conflict ending with the Mean Six and the Main Six clashing heads while Starlight and Chrysalis face off. I know that sounds like me wishing that, but frankly, if the Main Six are gonna be here, they should at least actually face the conflict rather than having them just be in the background. It's just so disappointing that a villain who is not reformed only came back a season later just to have this episode. Michael Vogel is the writer of this episode, and I think he has listened to the criticism, as because of this, in season 9, he made a villains only episode called Frenemies, and it's 100 times better because there's no main character subplot to it. So I just look back at this episode and just say it's a blueprint for a much better one down the road. Non-complete clause. Ah yes, the episode where people started to give up on the school. Yeah, on its first try no less. I think everyone has already said how late this kind of episode was because when the school is a major factor to this, you'd think this episode would be at least the third or fifth if we're lucky. Episode order aside, that is not the main problem. The main problem is bringing back Applejack and Rainbow Dash's rivalry to the max and having to be the only focus. Now, I'm not harping on their characters because it's expected. They are the most sporty of the main six and that is fine. What is not fine is that they put this as the main focus rather than the students. It's like they just forgot about them until the conflict gets worse for every creature there. Really, they wasted so much time on that I have to wonder what was the point of this episode. In fact, one thing that always bothers me is why isn't this kind of sportsmanship type behavior now put on the freaking student six? You know, some rivalry behavior to impress the teachers? Hello, that should have been the first episode dealing with that. Especially when we know Sandbar adores the elements of harmony and you would think the other students would try to do the same thing. But nope, the entire episode is just a Applejack and Rainbow Dash pissing contest that really didn't amount to anything, especially to the school. Later episodes that do show the school more got better afterwards with the student 6 getting some development, but man, what a bad start to this one. I guess the only thing I have to say positively is Fluttershy earning Teacher of the Month awards. She totally earned those. Fodder knows beast. Ugh. Why? You know, I was really hyped for this episode. I know I shouldn't have been because MLP is not the show that's gonna 100% deliver on everything you want, so you have to judge it on what they did. So I did, and I still think it's garbage. Okay, let's get the good out of the way first. Smolder is the best in this episode. She really plays the role the older sister Spike could have got. I like these two interacting, and it's nice to see the sister figure able to see the fake dad's BS, which I'll talk about soon enough. The second is how not all creatures are taking friendship lessons at face value, being Sludge who doesn't give a crap and just wants free stuff. That is pretty interesting. But unfortunately, that is about it, as the rest of the episode is complete garbage. First off, why is Spike so gullible in here? I'm sorry, but considering how he already knows how dragons can be assholes at times, it's kinda hard for Spike for not catching on to this. It's just frustrating to see that. He has literally put a strain on his friendship for his supposed father, which just turned out to be fake, so what is the point of all this? The one scene with how Twilight's heart broke would have had weight if Sludge is his real father. This still bothers me on why they didn't do that, as this could have been a really good follow-up to Dragon Quest. Showing that family isn't always family, something that I think kids could actually learn if r/insane parents were anything to go by. Really, this could have been the next high point after Meltdown, but nope, shows that he is lying and everything goes back to normal. Ain't that swell? It's for that reason is why I kind of put this instead of Matter of Principles, because at least that one is entertaining and it's clear on what it's trying to do despite the shitty message at the end. Look, I know that MLP has a certain time limit to covering a lot of things like this. Hell, even episodes that I like could have been perfect with more time or episodes if the network allowed it. I understand the amount of work that they have to draft and edit, but this episode shows that not even that could help save an episode. I think the massive disappointment also comes from the fact that they're never gonna touch on Spike's family past ever again. By the time season 9 has finished airing, it is over and we're left to wonder what happened to his real parents. We didn't get anything, and that's a shame because by this point, I think people wouldn't mind seeing the real truth. Which is why having Sludge be his real father would have actually made this episode be #1 in my best list. It would have easily solved all the problems I have with this episode. But no, instead we have the fake father storyline. Spike is a good character and it's nice that his episodes are finally improving since season 6. But this episode brings back the memories of why almost everyone dislikes Spike-focused episodes. What a letdown. Who knows, maybe season 10 we'll finally get to see Spike's real parents and all that. So those are my picks of the 5 worst episodes of season 8. I know so many can say that they can easily make a top 20 out of this season, but me personally, I did enjoy the season as there's a lot of episodes I really like personally. When will that video be? Probably after I finish making the worst list of all the seasons. Yeah, that is gonna be a while. Anyway, this is Mark, aka the Wolf Pony here, and I hope the next day will be even better.